Media.
Hey there, Ronnie here. Real quick before we get into the main episode, I just want to let you know that early bird registration for the Redefined Network Marketing event happening May 4, 5, and 6 is now open. That's right. You can register at ronniecruz.com/redefine. I'm going to be teaching you everything that I've learned about online marketing in the last year and a half so that you can take your business online, on social media, and build massive success into this next decade and beyond. Again, you can go to ronniecruz.com/redefine. You're going to get an early bird pricing. Don't wait because this early bird registration is going to expire. Make sure you register today.
Hi, my name is Ronnie Cruz. After almost 2 decades as a career network marketer, I realized that despite continual work on my personal and professional development, that I had hit a massive brick wall. So I took a deep and honest look at myself, top to bottom, hoping to find answers, and my search led me to one conclusion. The definitions I held of my business, of my world, of my life were the very things holding me back. If I wanted to change, if I wanted to grow beyond my current circumstances, I had to wipe the slate clean and redefine. This show is dedicated to helping you identify the belief systems, the mindsets, the very definitions that have held you back, and then help you break through those limitations to finally create the life you've been working so hard to achieve. Welcome to the Redefine Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're going to answer the question, when is the right time to change network marketing companies? Is there a right time to change network marketing companies? I've been asked this, well, not a lot, but enough to merit a conversation here on the show. Thinking back on it, I don't know that I had a very good answer. Well, it's not that it wasn't a good answer, but my answers were pretty much contextual to the individuals that asked the question, because all of them came from the perspective of the feeling like they were struggling in their business and that they weren't getting results, right? And that maybe changing companies was going to be the answer to solving their problems. And of course, my answer to that is no, it's not. The grass isn't greener on the other side. You're going to leave this company to go to the next one, and you're going to take your baggage with you, right? What you need to do instead of that is continue working on to develop your skill sets, continue to working on developing your personal growth. And your self-esteem, your confidence, all the pieces required to gain and achieve success in network marketing. That said, the question is still, I think, a very valid one, and that's what I want to address today. So I've come up with a couple of things, a couple of guidelines that I think is really a great framework of answering the question, is it the right time to look at and consider moving to a new network marketing company or a different network marketing company. Now, I want to make sure, again, that you're not going into this conversation because you're struggling, right? Yeah, I want to make sure that you're not going into this conversation thinking that a new company is going to be the answer to your prayers. I want you to primarily continue working to improve your skill sets and all the other pieces of the puzzle that I just mentioned. This conversation is, I think, reserved for individuals who have attained a certain level of success, a certain level of leadership in their companies. Because again, I understand that there are circumstances that require looking at other companies. And so the first of these criteria is whether or not your company is, whether or not they can stay solvent, right? I've known so many network marketers, so many of my colleagues that, have had built tremendous businesses and have had great careers. And all of a sudden the company goes out of business or closes their doors, right? So you really have to be careful of that. And again, if you've achieved a high level of leadership and success in the company, you're going to be privy to some things that others might not be, right? The masses in the organization might not be privy to. So, just number one, keep your ears open for signs of potential insolvency, and really just flat out ask the corporate team, right? Ask the corporate leadership, how are the financials? If you are in a leadership position, you will be able to not necessarily get the answers, but get honest answers. But you should be able to at least access actual numbers, right? And I mean, if you look at your own organization, and maybe your colleagues' organizations, and see what the numbers are looking like, you can track certain growth, or lack of growth, reverse growth trends, right? So that's something to really look into. Again, if you're feeling like there's been a decline, and things aren't or haven't turned around for your business, and therefore your company, then yeah, there you got to really start investigating at the causes of these, and if there is really a major downtrend that's going to require you to look at another company to call your home base. The second criteria is compensation plan. Now, this wouldn't necessarily be a criteria that I thought of or would think of 5 years ago, 10 years ago. However, it's really, I think, relevant now because of the shift that's happening in the marketplace, right? 10 years ago, as the conversation started to shift from recruitment and building downlines to being more customer centric, none of the compensation plans adjusted for that until recently. And so, if you want to continue playing in this space, and could be able to continue to thrive and have more validity and relevance in the marketplace itself, your company has to have a comp plan that accounts for and rewards customer sales, right? Because if you don't, then it's just going to be a recruitment game, and recruitment game is becoming less and less relevant, right? Like that deal, the building and recruiting a downline as your source of income, it's yeah, I mean, it's on its last leg. So you want to make sure that your company is changing and adapting to what's happening, and including customer acquisition and customer sales in their upfront commissions, without having to recruit. And if they're unwilling to make those changes, then you got to find a company that has that innovation in their compensation plan. It's really important, because if companies don't include this in their comp plan, then, well, that affects, number one, that affects their solvency down the road. All right, so that's another really important consideration. And the last one, I think, is important as well. I think it's important for you as a leader, and your own sensibilities and your own maturity, your own, yeah, continually working on your self actualization as a leader in the space, and that's culture, right? I understand that companies, especially companies that have a longer track record, which is rare in our space. But if your company's been around for a little while, there can be a tendency for culture to change. And if corporate culture is very prevalent in the distributor field, right? If there's a big connection and ties to the distributor field and the corporate office, and culture starts to change, yeah, you might want to reconsider it if it's a culture that you don't want to be a part of, right? It's important to all of our own sensibilities, all our independent, well, yeah, for our own independence, and to be able to still be aligned with culture that is ethical, culture that is built on integrity, and transparency and honesty. If that starts to go south, if you feel like it's starting to go south, then maybe, again, this might be a time to start considering looking for another home. Because the last thing I would want for you as a network marketing leader, as somebody with a big organization, is to have to compromise any of those things just to stick around with your company. Right? There are really much more important things than loyalty to a corporate office, and namely your own ethics, your own integrity, and you want to keep that level of culture intact, right? Right. Be careful that as you kind of address these criteria, that you're not coming from it You're not coming into it from an egoic standpoint, because I mean it's easy to be very reactive when your ego is feeling hurt or when your ego feels endangered, and that's why you might feel like as a leader that it's time to look for another company, right? Like that's something that you got to really keep in check. That's part of your own personal growth journey as a leader. However, if you're looking at these things from a fair and even and neutral standpoint, and these criteria are really starting to kind of meet, and well, not meet, but these criteria are really starting to sound more and more like, well, your answer to these criteria, if you're leaning towards more towards like a yes, then yeah, it might be time. It might be time to start considering looking at a new company. Otherwise, I mean, yeah. On top of that too, understand that you are an independent distributor, and you're not necessarily beholden to following whatever your upline is doing, whatever corporate office is doing, as long as you're not breaking any kind of compliance rules or policies and procedures. Then you can run your business any way you want. You can create your own team, your own culture any way you want, right? It's just that understand that it might present kind of a little bit of conflict with other cultures and other ways of doing things within the company, right? So it's just something to consider. Is there a time? Is there a right time to start looking at other network marketing companies? I can't answer that for you. As a leader, you should be able to kind of, at the very least, take these suggestions and criteria and give it some more critical thinking to make the proper decision for you. So that's my answer. Hopefully that makes sense. It's an important conversation, and I may end up revisiting it sometime soon. But if you have any questions about it, a great place to have a further conversation is, of course, the network marketing in. No, I'm sorry. I was about to say the network marketing in the digital age. That's not what it is. The redefined community is what I was about to say. You can join us. It's a community that is designed to help you on your journey, right? To create an environment, a community for support where we can support each other. It's not just me as a talking head. We can support each other on our entrepreneurial journeys, answering and talking about questions just like we did today. So you can go to facebook.com/groups/redefine community. I'll leave the link in the show notes of this episode, and come join us and let's have a further conversation. So that's it for today. More from me tomorrow. So until then, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.